Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of VR and All That Jazz. We are your host, the Jasmines.
The Jasmine and the Jasmine Adam, or Adam Jasmine. I know it gets confusing.
One's Jasmine, which is me, and the other's Adam. I think this is episode 4 now, right? We're in episode 4?
Yes, because you did solo number 1, then 2 was when I got introduced, right?
Something. I think one was a pilot episode, but we're here. Hello, we're here. And we are live every Wednesday, every third Wednesday of the month on YouTube. If you ever want to join us live, if you're listening to this a little bit later, we also stream on LinkedIn and Facebook. But if you want to chat with us live, of course, join on YouTube.
Yep. And if you missed the live show, or maybe you're actually listening to this right now, we also have an audio format, which will be on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon, I believe, and Google. But we're more fun live. So if you can, check us out live. But it's okay. Yeah. You'll be forgiven the first time.
Maybe. So we actually have a very, very exciting guest today. It's Maureen Fan, which she has worked on at Disney, Roblox, HBO, Oculus, among so many others. Really, she is so impressive. And now she's the CEO and co-founder of Baobab Studios, which, if y'all don't know, Baobab Studios makes animated films specifically for VR. Think Pixar, Disney, all that stuff, but literally the Disney and Pixar of VR is Baobab Studios.
I still have to go and watch some of those films you mentioned, because Galactic Catch, which is how I think both of us first heard about her, because that was I believe, I try not to spoil too much about later, but the studio's first venture into games, right? And so that led us down the rabbit hole. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of, get some notebooks and maybe some tissues, because there's a lot of great quotable moments that she has. It's super inspirational. I'm going to have to go back and later and just get a bunch of clips to be save that. It's so good.
Yeah. So Adam, what are we talking about today? I know we have a couple of topics. So you want to just let everyone know what they can look forward to?
Yeah, today we've got a bunch of different types of tech that have come out recently. Maybe not as new, because again, we're once a month, but a little bit on the LumePad 2, which is a 3D tablet. We've got some full body tracking involved stuff. We have talks about the Nofio, I always wonder if I'm pronouncing that right, the Valve Index wireless headset adapter, as well as some other meta news and some fun game stuff. I can't wait to get to the gaming parts. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, and of course the interview. You can't forget the interview.
Well, yeah.
But let's say hi to everybody. Hi, Backsorn, Gigi Casa. I think this is the first time I'm seeing you in here. Alex VR, hi from Between Realities. Wow, it's podcastception. Although I think
heard of them.
Yeah, I think this is a podcastception anyway, Adam, because you're on F Reality. If anyone didn't know, Adam's on one of the most popular VR podcasts to ever exist.
I was a guest on F Reality, or not on on Between Realities too. There's so many realities. We should have been VR and all that jazz-ality.
Reality. Yeah.
We don't have, somewhere.
How can we be a real VR podcast if we don't have reality on our name? I was that's the golden rule.
Exactly.
It looks like Fran R is here. I'm glad I could catch us. We're glad you're here too. Hammer, getting things done. Esquiva, 007. You can't forget the 007. Hi, everybody. All right. So, Adam, what have you been up to? It's been a whole month since we've had our episode. What have you been doing?
So I think, I don't know if this was last month or the month before, but you mentioned that you were trying Nountown, right? I think at one point. Mm-hmm. And so when I went on my Romania trip with the Live team, and I realized how kind of multilingual everyone else is, and how, I just know English and maybe a little bit of Japanese and Tagalog, but only words you learn as a baby, and you don't realize that they're another language, right?
We should start throwing Tagalog words on this podcast just to see who in here can understand Tagalog, which is the language of the Philippines, if anyone didn't know.
But so I figured when I was in high school, I actually really wanted to take Spanish, because we're in California. There's a lot of Spanish speakers. Spanish is a common language. Ended up taking Japanese, which was fun too. But anyway, so I'm like, you know what? I want to be fluent in a second language. So I've been using a combination of Duolingo on the phone to help with like sentence structures and stuff, and then Noun Town to be able to just fill those sentences with different nouns. And I've been really liking it. Like this week has been a little hectic, but most of the time I'm able to get in every day for like to do one of the like either the bakery or the what is it, supermarket section or whatever. I'm trying to progress slowly so my brain doesn't explode.
I feel so proud of myself right now. So you're saying that you've been influenced by me. You were influenced.
An influencer.
Yeah. I did it, everybody.
Well, I had been, to be fair, I'd been wanting to try it, but I'd been putting it off. And then a combination of, okay, you tried it. And then I was just like, dang, you need to learn a second language. Like, stop putting this off. Just finally did it. So hopefully
you should try Immerse VR. That's like another language learning one. So Nountown is one that you do by yourself. Immerse is one that you do with other people. It's like classes. Oh, yeah, and you have to like sign up for the classes, and you have a teacher. There's a teacher, and then the teacher tells you like what like you walk around like a park or like different locations in VR, like locations that you would be in real life, like in your house, or if it's a lesson at the park, or I don't know, whatever else.
Is it paid lessons or subscription service or
the subscription service? It's not that bad though.
Time.
To be honest, I did do a video on it on my YouTube channel, but it's not that bad. It's like $25 for 8 classes per month, and the classes are like an hour long, and you get to like hang out with people, and there's a bunch of little games that you play in order to like not just learn language by yourself, but really like immerse yourself, right? That's how people really learn the language.
Good to have conversation, like instead of you're talking to your phone or you're talking back to just a thing, it's like you're actually talking
AI.
to somebody. Yeah, exactly.
We'll get AI later.
Next podcast will be in Spanish. I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh. Or Tagalog. I actually learned Spanish in high school. Like we need to take a language again, because like we're in California, and for the exact same reason, I was like, all my friends are saying all these things in Spanish. I better know what they are saying about me. I didn't do well in those classes though, so I still don't really know what they're saying about me.
I couldn't take it because all the Spanish speakers took Spanish, so it was full.
Oh, so right. Because it was so Japanese. Easy for them. I know.
And then there was French, and I was like, I'd rather take Japanese than French.
I wanted to take Japanese, honestly. But fun. I'll show you what I've been up to.
Yeah. What the heck? Oh, you. Wait. Fate's Unlimited. I get the idea. See, I expect you to die 3 case.
Oh, here we go. I got it on camera.
Are we gonna uncase it? Unbox it?
No, I made like a TikTok about it already. So if anyone wants to see what's in this box, it's on my TikTok. But the cool thing is they actually, it was so crazy. They sent me pliers in the mail about a week ago with like a little card that said only cut the wires, and I was so confused. I was like, why did you send me pliers? This is the weirdest PR box. I was like, yeah, is there more? There has to be more, right? I was really thrown off, and I even asked Soul Fox, because I know Soul Fox like plays I Expect You to Die series like crazy, and he was like, no, there's more. And I was like, okay. And then yesterday I got this like big box, and I was like, oh my god, it's here. So
hardcore case. Like it looks solid.
It is very solid. I was like, dang, this is so expensive. But you could see like there's actual wires that you had to cut. I mean, the presentation was just like, me and Adam are both in the marketing space in VR. So I appreciate a good marketing effort. And so thank you, Shaw Games.
You didn't explode, so I guess you cut the correct ones, right? Or
yeah. And the stuff in here was so cool. Alex VR just said Soul Fox got engaged today.
Oh my god, is this on Twitter or something? I haven't seen this yet. Oh, that's
it's so on
cute.
Instagram.
It's not an Instagram. There's so many platforms now.
There is too many platforms. But I saw that it was so cute. I don't know if he's we're gonna give him a shout out anyway. I don't know if he's seen this podcast yet or heard it, but shout out to Soul Fox for getting engaged.
Oh, that's so good.
Congrats,
Alex and Soul Fox.
Oh man, the chat on YouTube is quite funny today. Alex and Soul Fox got engaged today. Alex said yes.
Well, the other thing,
we wish you well, Alex and Soul Fox. But the other thing I've been up to lately is like So after Galactic Catch came out, that game, and obviously Maureen Fan is the CEO of Baobab Studios who made
Mhm.
Galactic Catch. After that came out, I went into a rabbit hole. I was like, what else do they have? And they have a ton of like VR animated films. And that is actually what I've been doing lately. I was like, what? I have not,
That's so
I
cool.
cannot believe I didn't do any of these things. I was kind of kicking myself. Because if you were ever, like when I was younger, and I used to watch like Sailor Moon and stuff, I always wondered if I would
Hell
be
yes.
so sad when the episode would end. And I wondered if I threw like the remote and I broke that TV screen, will they come out and keep hanging out with me? Like,
Oh, that's so cute.
that is what I used to think. And I
Dude,
used
Sailor
to.
Moon in VR.
Oh, I know. It's missed opportunity. Somebody who knows anyone at Sailor Moon. But anyway, so and I always used to watch like TV shows being like, man, I wish I could be in this. And obviously that's why we all play games so we can be in things. But yeah, if you are more like if you like watching things and kind of having a little bit of interaction, there's so many good animated VR films, like really, really good ones. There's a couple listed that I've listed in like one of my videos recently, but some of the good ones like Paper Birds. Adam, have you tried that?
No, but I have like I've gone to the website now and I have a laundry list of like, okay, I need to watch all of these. Like, because after hearing her talk about them, I felt so guilty. I'm like, these sound really
So
cool.
good. They're so good. I don't even know how to explain it to you. One that isn't by Baobab, a different one, I think was called The Line. Oh, so poetic. So I don't I'm hyping them up and they're worth the hype. You really got to try these. And when you try them, you're going to be like, what the heck? Why hasn't anyone in the VR industry been talking about this? This is kind of crazy. It's so good. Literally feels like you're at Disneyland, some of them.
On my list, I have to do that for sure.
Anyway, I didn't mean to be derailed. We have other things to talk about today.
Just an hour talking about our week or our month.
Yeah. Did you guys miss us? So what else do we have to talk about today? So another thing I've been up to lately is the Leia 3D tablet.
Oh, but do you have one? Or no?
Yes, I got one in the mail. I know.
No way.
I got one in the. That's why I put it on the list. I was like, I need to talk about this. It's actually.
So jealous.
It's crazy. So Leia has always been at all these conventions that you go to, and they'll have like a couple of different experiences. But really, when you're at conventions, you're running around. You don't have time to like really try things. So there's this thing called the Lume pad, and it's like a 3D tablet. And when you watch it without glasses or anything, it looks like things are 3D. Yeah,
but
yeah.
But it's like I heard. So have you actually set it up and played with the, or is it still like you just barely got it?
I have set it up and I played with it. It's so good.
Because it's like it's somehow based on where your eyes are, so it knows where your eyes are, so it can determine the 3D-ness, right? Like that's so cool. I'm so jealous. I hate you so much right now.
Yeah.
That's okay.
It is so good. I know I need to make a video about it still, but yeah, it has like cameras in the front and it does like eye tracking to see where your eyes are. And it uses, I'm pretty sure, the same thing that people do in like 3D theaters where you have to wear the glasses, except this one you don't have to wear the glasses because it's tracking your freaking eyes. And yeah, it's really good. Like I didn't tell you the best part. I have to tell you the best part.
Too much.
Okay. So there's an app on it called the Leia Tube. And when you click it, it's like it converts YouTube videos into 3D using AI.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that. I think actually, yeah, we had someone who watched F Reality with his in 3D. I mean, it's hard to record, right? Because it's supposed to track the eyes, not your camera lens. But if you did this with your tablet, you can kind of like simulate it. But it's one of those things where like I want one, but I don't know if I could. It's on sale right now, and the sale's pretty good. I think wasn't it on Amazon? It's like cheaper now. Oh no, it's $649. Yeah,
649
compared to
$1,000. Pretty big sale.
So,
yeah,
like, that's pretty good.
Yeah. I had it convert one of my YouTube videos, which I definitely did not record in 3D whatsoever. And I was watching it on there. I was like, oh, this is the future. I was like gonna cry.
It's like my face in 3D.
I was like, who watches stuff in 2D anymore? Like it's 2023. Have a 3D tablet, use VR. What are we doing in 2D? It's very cool.
Man, lucky. Will you have to? Are you gonna do like a full
I do, yeah.
on it
I
and
do
stuff?
need to make a video on it, absolutely. But when I first saw it at the conventions, I was like, yeah, it's cool, I guess. But once you start using this to watch stuff, you're just like, why would I ever watch anything in 2D? That's so lame.
Well, I remember because at like CES and GDC, they have the other, I don't know if it was the same company, but like the 3D monitors and stuff that use the same technology where you've got to be standing in kind of that sweet spot so it can read your eyes, which sounds creepy, but, and I'm like, man, that's pretty cool. But the fact that it can, I wonder if the other monitors are going to use the same technology, because then that way games won't have to add like an SDK or some kind of do anything special to make their stuff 3D if the AI can automatically give that effect somehow. I don't know how all the behind the scenes stuff works. That's way above me, but that's so cool. The simpler, the better.
It is, yeah. Someone asked if it's a hologram. No, it's not a hologram. It literally tracks your eyes, and then I don't understand it. I am sorry. I wish I could explain this to you better. I'm not.
Diffractive light field is what the technology is called. I don't know if that helps, but it's using diffractive light field.
It does something, and all of a sudden it's in 3D. I don't know how to explain it. It just looks 3D because your eye is something. I'll look into this more. This is why I haven't made a video yet. Oh, someone said, Skiva said it's a big 3DS screen. So
yeah. I think that's a fair analogy.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm going to spend some more time using this. It's been about a week that I've been using it, and once I figure things out, I'll tell you more about it. But I just thought it was cool, and it's also awesome that it's on sale.
Hell, I want one. How do I? Where's my sign up button?
Adam's just casually browsing during the podcast, and it's just like online shopping now. Something else that's been really cool that I saw lately. I saw that Brad, sadly it's Bradley. Do you know him? You might have heard of him before, right?
Yeah. That's the guy who knows all the leaks and stuff about all the thing that's called VR technology, fangled stuff.
Yeah, he posted. I know this was really cute. So I saw that he was jumping around with no wires, full body tracking, no wires. What a freaking dream!
And I do you have the Nofio too? Is that what you're gonna say next? Oh, maybe you don't have an index though, do you?
No, I don't have an index. Someone want to send me an index? I don't have one, but
well, how about you send it to me because I have an index. But yeah, like seeing this, I'm like, it's so clever because how the Nofio works. If you don't know, actually, I'll pull up the. It uses Wi-Fi 6, I believe, and it has a receiver. Transmitter sort of a deal with the battery pack is my mouse. Yeah. So the battery pack kind of plugs in here, and supposedly they only get like 5 milliseconds latency, which is crazy. So again, I haven't actually tried this. So Bradley seems to like it, I think, when he did a video of it. But yeah, Wi-Fi 6E to be able to play games wirelessly on your index. Wirelessly in that, it's not plugged into your PC. Obviously, you're going to have to put one of the wires somewhere in the adapter. But the battery, that's that kind of chunkier part in the back's also swap outable. I don't think that's a word, but you know what I mean. But I think it's so cool because even okay, later on we'll talk about Dance Dash. So I'm gonna save a thing that I'm gonna say, which you can probably guess for the Dance Dash section on wires and dancing maybe being dangerous.
But anyway, it's cool. Nofio is cool, and I really, really need to get into full body tracking. I'm a fraud. How am I a VR person? I don't have an index. I don't have full body tracking. I'm so upset with myself right now.
I mean, it's not for everybody. Like unless you're doing a lot of avatar VTuber type content or mocap stuff.
I could be.
You could
be. Yeah,
they are very fun.
They would.
Yeah, they're very fun toys. Like I still use mine, but I also use it with a lot of live stuff. So, but I'm happy to see that, potentially down the road, because it's like $100 each per puck, and maybe you want like 3, right? One on the waist, one for each foot. So having stuff to justify it with like VR chat, but hopefully more apps besides just VR chat and live. The more the merrier, because these things are so expensive.
While we're talking about full body tracking, I think I should mention this. Like after Vive, remember a couple of months ago, HTC showed their like camera-based trackers. Do you remember that?
Oh, the Vive's the like inside out tracking, right? I think I've got.
Mm-hmm.
Is that supposed to come out Q3? Which is like July through September, so they got maybe a month, but I haven't seen anything.
I haven't seen anything at all. Like, what happened to HTC? Are they still around? Like,
I was actually kind of looking forward to these because supposedly you didn't need like the lighthouses, right? Because it was all internal, or not like they had based on the cameras inside. So I'm kind of sad. I haven't seen. You would have thought that at least it'd be some marketing or more like a pre-order. I mean, I haven't seen it, but I could be a little slow.
They've gotten so quiet. So I don't know if anyone knows what happened to HTC and these trackers. Let us know because I want it.
Yeah, supposedly, yeah, they're using the same high precision. I'm going to use some high technical terms. Sorry, the positional tracking as I think the Focus 3, and supposedly you're able to, because it uses internal cameras instead of external cameras. It supposedly can track large play space as well, but none of us will know because we don't have them yet. So, I mean, actually, you got to try it at CES, or a couple of you, which somehow I didn't.
No, it was like a random event where they invited a couple of creators to a studio and was like, "Hey, you want to try these out?" Yeah. So yeah, it wasn't like a specific event or anything.
I could have sworn there was something where they had a Vive booth.
GDC.
Oh, I get them all confused.
Yeah, there's so many. By the way, now that we're talking about conventions, are you going to Gamescom by any chance? That's happening next week.
I wish. Yeah, it's on my bucket list because I've had, E3, the big ones. E3 I've been to. Well, probably the last one. I don't think that's going to be happening again. And Tokyo Game Show, I still want to go to eventually, sometime before I die. And Gamescom, that's also
Japanese,
on my list.
Apparently, it's like you said earlier, you speak Japanese now, right?
But not fluently. Like I took 3 years in high school and like 3 in college, but that's kind of like the same, like, because in college it just started me over. But yeah, I think I'm gonna try for next year. Like I'm gonna save up for the plane ticket and the hotel and all that because I think that's just gonna be the biggest cost. But I want to go. Are you? You're not. Are you going?
No, I'm like, okay, more personal life stuff. I'm in the process of moving, and it's just not gonna happen. Yeah, so it's not happening for me.
Plus, you already did some traveling.
Yeah. Well, speaking of conventions, there's MetaConnect.
Oh, I'm so sad about that one. I was hoping that that one would be in person. Because you know what, can be completely honest, I never went to any of the in-person ones. I think I was still too new to VR and the VR community and didn't really know anyone or what I was doing. And then, pandemic hit and they did some virtual, and I guess we're still going virtual.
I actually heard that there is like some game devs like being invited in person. So I think there's I think there's something in person, but like we're just not invited.
Ouch. Well, at least you, right? Because you've been in the show that they had, so they should have something.
I know, you would think so. I did ask. I'm like, someone please let me in. But I heard like some game devs are going to something. So I think there's either like part of it is in person or there's some event happening there. I don't really know, but I'm really sad. I thought this would be in person, like for everybody. And I know we should do our own.
At the same time. We'll just like, I don't know, happen to all go to
Should we
San
just
Francisco
like go camp out in the front? Should we just go camp out at the Meta headquarters and just be like let us in? Or like we'll work for Meta
Quest 3
ticket. Yeah, or Quest 3. Yeah, Quest 3, dang. Do you think that they'll announce Quest 3 during the Meta Connect?
I think so. I really do. I think you're going to be able to pre-order it like at the Connect event after its announcement. I'm pretty confident.
Are you going to buy one?
Yes. Because I wouldn't mind having because I didn't have the Quest Pro. So this will be a significant upgrade for me from like my Quest 2, which I've had, for a couple of years and it's good, but I'm ready for my new a new portable headset because I have like 3 different systems, right? Like I've got my Steam headset, which is my ride or die, the Valve Index, and I've had the portable travel one, which is Quest 2, and then console, I'd put that in its own category, with the PSVR 2. So I would be happy to upgrade my portable travel headsets and be able to kind of see what the Quest Pro had, sort of.
Oh, you never had the Quest Pro? I still use mine. I heard some people are having issues with theirs now, but mine still works okay.
Like what issues with the AirLink or?
AirLink for me does not work. I think I searched this, and we'll get to that later.
Yeah, okay.
Good topics. But there are a couple people like tuning in for us like live on LinkedIn. So James Bellion, who works on Neolithic Dawn, says that there is a smaller one on Facebook campus for the Meta Connect, but you can apply, but it's very exclusive. Well, shoot. I guess we don't belong in that very exclusive crew.
I just like Skiva's Meta Disconnect.
The Meta Disconnect.
That should be our thing. Whatever the thing is that we make that happens to be around the same time and maybe around the same place as Meta Connect. We're the Meta Disconnect.
That is so funny. Are you going to try to come up at least and like see if you can get into anything?
I don't know. I mean, you're closer
I live
than I am, so you can try, and then you say, "Hey, something's happening," and then I'll just fly up an hour.
I'm just gonna brute force my way in. Look, I've done crazier things.
Okay, reconnect. I guess that sounds friendlier instead of Meta Disconnect. Meta Reconnect. That's cute.
Yeah. Eric Wholesome, so political.
But speaking of the Quest Pro, there has been some news that Meta's actually going to discontinue the Quest Pro. And so I've actually been curious to hear your thoughts on this. Kind of the TLDR is that, according to reports anyway, the company, they've ceased component orders.
Oh, shoot.
Ooh, someone's popular.
What the heck was that? Was that me?
That's Meta calling.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
You're invited to Meta Disconnect, Reconnect.
I thought I closed my Discord. Oops. I just closed it.
But
sorry, everybody.
Anyway, yeah, the Quest Pro thing. So basically, Meta has ceased component orders, so production's expected to halt once all of their materials are depleted. And I guess probably because they're going to be refocusing more on the Quest 3, and maybe I don't know any sales number for the Quest Pro, but maybe the productivity meetings and all that didn't hit as hard as they hoped. But I wanted to get your thoughts on this as someone who's got the Quest Pro. Does this make you sad or like not surprised?
I haven't looked honestly, look, the reason we did our last episode a week early was because I traveled with my family for a couple of weeks, and so I kind of heard about this. Can you tell what did they say? Tell me.
So they're basically going to be using the last of the parts that they have and not ordering more to make more Quest Pros. So what they currently have is it, pretty much. So I guess maybe you'll have a relic before long. I don't know what their supply is currently like. Like maybe they do have.
I'll have a relic.
Maybe they do have a lot of.
I'm so proud.
I mean, because I don't know how many, like what their projected sales were, how the amount of parts that they ordered versus what might just be sitting in a warehouse and not being sold. So I don't know, but that's the information that we got from this article. It
says Quest Pro will probably not get a successor, like ever.
Well, according to this, so probably nothing that's productivity related. So not like Quest 3, which is more consumery, gamery, movie watchy.
Yeah. But okay, I'm trying to put my thinking brain on. I should have prepared a little bit or more for this, but I did not read this article ahead of time. So I almost wonder, okay, if I was to think about this, so the Quest Pro was for productivity, but then no one really used it for that. Everyone's using it for gaming. And then the Quest 3 has a lot of the features of Quest Pro aside from the face tracking and I think eye tracking kind of stuff. I haven't really, like I said to people, like I have for the Quest Pro, I've never used the eye tracking, face tracking features really. Like it's more of a novelty. It's not really something that's kind of taken off yet. So I almost wonder if maybe that's why they are not continuing this. My second theory would be like the Apple Vision Pro has announced, and that one's definitely for productivity. And I almost wonder if like maybe that's why they're kind of putting a pause on this. Maybe let's see what Apple does, see like how the Vision Pro does, and then let's reevaluate if like I don't know if reaching out to productivity is the right way to go. I mean, Meta's done a really great job with being in the gaming sector. No matter how many times they said, "Oh, we're not really in the gaming section." I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, I never was interested in the idea of the Quest Pro, like again, the productivity side of it, more so than the tech. So when, like you said, they're kind of taking some similar things and maybe slightly better and putting in a Quest 3, which is more marketed, more geared towards like, gaming, just basically kind of the same audience as the Quest 2. Putting that kind of a package on it makes it a little more interesting to me. And it's like, now before even reading this article, it's kind of like, well, then why would I want to buy a Quest Pro if I could just get the Quest 3, which is going to have kind of the same. Yeah. And like you said, the face tracking, I mean, I'd rather take a cheaper headset than have the face tracking and have that add on whatever $100. So I don't know. I mean, I sad, but I think maybe that was their experiment and they shot their shot. Maybe it didn't do so well. And I don't think it'll be the end of like productivity based headsets for Meta, but it just might be a while. Like you said, they'll probably see what Apple does. They'll see what people like and don't like about the headset in terms of features, and then maybe they'll try again to come up with some kind of Apple competitor, like a cheaper version. So we'll see. I don't know.
For what it's worth, I do love my Quest Pro. Like it is my daily driver, and it looks like Getting Things Done, who's in chat, says, I love my Quest Pro so much.
People who have them seem to like them. I guess it's just getting people to want to get one. Like
it's just expensive, right? Yeah, it's expensive. So I think a lot of people are probably thinking, do I get the Quest Pro or do I get the Valve Index? That's probably, and if you're into VR gaming, which most people that are in the VR space are, it makes more sense to get the Valve Index, even though it's a bit older, because you can get full body tracking and all the other features really easily.
A lot of options now, which I guess is a good thing, And then of course, like I said, Quest 3 came out, and I think that probably sealed the deal for anyone even maybe remotely thinking about potentially getting a Quest Pro. Was like, I'll just wait. It'll be cheaper, have sort of some of the similar features.
But what I am sad about, which Bluebell just mentioned, is after she said, I went to play on the Quest 2 after the Pro, and I don't like it anymore. I like the open concept and lenses, and that's exactly how I feel. Ever since I got the Quest Pro, I have not touched my Quest 2 at all. And then, like, I think the Quest 3 sounds really interesting, and it sounds good, but I'm so hesitant because I don't want anything to touch my face.
Yeah, you know what? It's interesting. Like I did get to try the Quest Pro when I was at 2-Bit Circus in LA, and a couple of times before, and it actually took some getting used to for me to realize, like, oh, can you push the lenses closer to my face? Because it was weird to have them so far out. But I can see, after using it for a long time and getting used to it, you're like, oh yeah, you got airflow going through, like it's actually quite nice. But maybe that's where something like AR glasses will sort of take over more and I honestly see that as more of a better use case for like productivity anyway, because it's easier to just like versus have to turn it on, have your controllers, open up this app have Meta update, have it fail to update, and it's just like, you know what I mean, versus just plug and play. You already have your apps, your regular apps that you use on your phone or your laptop or whatever you want to plug it into, and you can just kind of go. It's easier to travel with. So maybe Meta will go AR eventually. I don't know.
But I am really sad. I'm sad to hear that Quest Pro is being discontinued. Like overall, like I love my Quest Pro, and I'm sad. And I think Getting Things Done is said that him and his wife are also sad. But speaking of more options, there's a lot of after big screen came out with the big screen beyond, all of a sudden, all of these other companies, like even Apple, like showed off their headset, and now Immersed is making a headset.
This one's interesting. I still am on the fence on how I feel about its looks because this was actually a leak, sort of. So the website seemed to have the website seemed to launch before it was actually supposed to launch. So that's how we got most of this information, and I think some of these renders. But it's the
visor.
It's interesting. Yeah. So supposedly it's like, I wish I could see it on something that's not a black render, you know, like I want to see it in daylight on a normal face, on a normal head, and not so stylish, although the pictures look good. But it's supposed
very
to
high
be
end.
It's supposed to be, I guess, according to what we saw from the website that appeared very briefly, as a more work-focused XR headset. And supposedly it's going to support both AR and VR modes, 100-degree field of view, 4K resolution per eye with the micro OLEDs. So supposedly similar to Apple Vision Pro and like Sony PSVR 2. Again, I keep saying supposedly, maybe I should switch it up for allegedly. It's going to have like a custom fit for each user, kind of like they're going to do like the big screen beyond thing where it's going to be custom for you. 6-DoF tracking, and you can have the option to be both wireless or tethered. And supposedly 2024 is what was mentioned for the launch target. So this one could be interesting, like a good mix between the two. Not quite as heavy as the Quest Pro, but I would say, again, kind of hard to tell with these pictures, but maybe like a little chunkier than your normal AR glasses. Like they kind of remind me of if you're going to go welding and you have those protective eyewear. So I like the bands, but I don't know how I feel about the style of the glass yet. I want to see it in normal lighting on normal faces.
Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun seeing all these companies come out with different headsets and see like the designs that they come out for it. Like the big screen beyond, I've heard really great things about it. Again, I still don't have it. So if anyone has one they want to send me, just message me. But anyway.
You volunteer as tribute.
We'll test it. But as much, I bet it's amazing. But when I watch people who are using the big screen beyond in videos, it kind of makes me laugh a little bit. Like I kind of giggle because it looks like they're literally wearing like swimming goggles. Like it looks so funny.
Well, that's what the XR Elites kind of reminded me of. They look like steampunk glasses, the Vives, but I don't know.
Yeah, and then this one, like you said, looks like a little bit of a welding goggles, and then the Apple Vision Pro with the eyes on the front of it. I mean, this is what a time to be alive. We are getting the most random looking things coming out. And I mean, you know what else I heard? I was watching the Mysticals video earlier today, and apparently Samsung is also coming out with a headset. I don't know if you heard that.
That's surprising, because I feel like everyone wants a piece of the pie now. So it's going to be really
crazy.
Is it a VR headset or AR glasses?
Honestly, I was cooking, so I wasn't, and I didn't prepare enough for this. So if anyone wants to correct us, but it's really interesting. This year has been so crazy when it comes to headsets. Unprecedented. For sure. Everyone's been speculating on Apple having something, and obviously like Meta having something, but and then PlayStation, sure. And then we all of a sudden HTC dropped something, big screen dropped something, Immersive, who else
time to be alive?
Who else is dropping something that they need to tell us?
You know what? More competition is always good. I mean, it is getting a little confusing, I'll admit, even when it comes to AR glasses, because I feel like every company and their mother and company names you've never heard of are making them, and just okay.
We haven't even talked about the AR glasses. We're just talking about VR headset, but the AR glasses market is also crazy right now.
But I was very skeptical. I said this a little bit on F Reality, but I was kind of skeptical when it came to AR glasses, because I was like, why would I want these? But then I tried them and it made sense. I kind of really like them. Rocket Max, yeah.
Did you just drop a video lately on your Rocket experience?
Yeah. So it's just we'll go watch it for the full thing. But TLDR, it's just really easy to use. Pretty much just plug and play with USB-C. I think according to their site that it will work with Apple, but you probably just need like that adapter because Apple people are weird. Not Apple people, Apple the company has their weird plugs. But I really like it. Like if I'm ever tight on travel, like when I went to Romania, I was like, oh crap, I only want to carry a carry-on bag and a backpack because I don't know if my stuff's gonna get lost in another country. Instead of bringing my laptop, I could have just brought this and my phone and a Bluetooth keyboard, and it would have been such a smaller footprint. So I don't know. I really enjoyed them, and I'm looking forward to other ones that come out in the future too, to see where things go.
Yep. So we're talking about the Rokid Max, which are the AR glasses that came out of Rokid, but there's also X-Real that came out with something. And man, there's just so many things. And I forgot to mention, there's also Pimax Crystal, it sounds like, is I think they're made some sort of announcement recently about a faceplate. But yeah, it looks like there's a bunch of things happening in the space right now. So it's going to be a really busy end of the year.
I'm excited. I'm here for it. We're here for it. I do like, because I know that Bluebell mentioned in the comments too. I feel like the X-Real glasses have a better look, though, I will say, than the Rokid. The Rokids are still kind of like, they're not chunky, but they're chunkier.
Like you wouldn't be able to pair that with an outfit. Like I would wear that. I would wear the Rokid glasses at home where no one will see me. But the X-Real look cooler to wear outdoors. Although I haven't tried the X-Real.
I'd use them in a plane, I guess, but if someone looks at them, you're definitely going to be like, oh, those aren't normal glasses. You know, hopefully one day we'll get to the point where it's like, whoa, you're actually watching movies on these glasses. I want it to be not obvious.
Really good. They're really, for anyone that hasn't tried like the Rokid glasses, I was pleasantly surprised, and I feel like a lot of people that have tried them has also been pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, well, just because also at places like CES, GDC, whatever, they're all demoing these AR glasses. They show, no offense, because they are probably trying to get enterprise. You know, they want companies to buy them so their employees can use them or whatever. But God, they show the worst demos for regular people. That like, here's you can change the paint colors on this car. It's so industry, or or like take apart this body. I was like, that's cool, but
like I don't want to do that at home. I'm not excited about that.
Yeah. But to be clear, to the Rokid is more like a extra monitor versus something that's an AR device, if that makes sense. So it's just monitor in glasses, which is not bad in my opinion, but I think just to temper people's expectations on thinking it's something, you know, way like you'll be able to put a Google Navigator on your glasses while you're walking or something. I didn't mean Apple people are weird, just Apple configurations are strange.
What is this?
I thought you put this up.
Oh no, okay. Don't look at that.
We can. Okay. I summarized it. Girl, I'm ready. I got everything. You can bring it back up. I got it.
I don't know what this is.
Basically, it seemed that Meta's journey to bring AR glasses to the masses is not going too well. I guess after, I believe it's at 8 years and like several billions invested, it seems like they're trying to rival the iPhone, but it's not going well. I guess last year reports that they no longer plan to release the Orion AR glasses. Instead, it would be limited to like developers and demonstrations. So it's not going to be a consumer public facing thing. I wonder if this is also sort of in tandem with all the not Vision Pro, Quest Pro. Can we stop with the pros and the headsets? I'm getting all confused with the names and tripping up. But yeah, so specifically, I guess micro LED displays and that specific tech in these AR glasses required are also expensive, like everything else, been hard to source for them. But so I guess now they plan to only build around 1,000 units of their first AR glasses next year versus the 50,000 that they once claimed. So sort of another sad meta news.
But you know, maybe it's
sad
a
meta
good thing.
podcast.
Maybe it's a good thing to like focus on a product because, as we know, sometimes the air link on the Quest doesn't work. So maybe focusing is a good thing.
Yeah, it's also good to experiment a little, but experiment realistically. I feel like since they've been hemorrhaging money, they may not have the freedom as much to be able to to experiment like they originally hoped. But so yeah, maybe the Quest 3 will be their golden goose to help start funding other stuff that they want to work with. But we'll see. I don't know. I think Quest 3 will sell well. I just don't know if it'll be like as big of a hype as like Apple Vision Pro was, or even maybe the PSVR 2, because it's an already existing company, existing IP. So
we'll find out. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting for sure. Have you played Roblox yet in VR? Because Roblox is in VR now.
Yeah. I thought I wanted to be a good VR person, but everyone was talking about this Roblox VR thing, so I guess I'll try it. I made the account. I had a hard time. Well, first I just tried to browse for VR friendly games in their little navigator thing that they had, and didn't have great luck. Like a lot of the maps that said VR friendly, I don't know if they just weren't optimized for the Quest, because sometimes like my character would be sort of doing that like God mode floating thing versus being anchored to like the floor, or I would be like underneath the map somehow. And so finally I watched like Nathy's video, because I'm like, I need to find actual Roblox maps that someone has also curated that they like. And so I tried a couple of those and my experience was better, but I don't know, there's random UIs everywhere. So I figured it's in beta still, so it's somewhat forgivable, but like the chat box is like floating right on your left eye. And then there's a little UI bar, the thing that you use to like leave the game or do emotes or whatever, is like just always there when you look slightly down, even if you lower it a little. So I don't know. It wasn't my thing, but I know a lot of kids like
you're
it.
A boomer.
It could be, but maybe we don't have enough maps. Like it's so new that maybe nobody's really made Quest optimized maps yet. I mean, it has been out for VR, for Steam VR, but
didn't they get 1 million downloads a couple of weeks after? Like that's crazy.
Yeah, I think we underestimate the amount of kids that are in VR significantly. And I guess thinking too, when I was young, like I can't think of a specific one, but I know I played some janky creative games just because there was a lot you could do in them and a lot of people were playing it. So it might not be my thing, but I mean, for younger kids that age to be able to make maps and I guess be creative, maybe future developers, future engineers, it's cool. I mean, I'm not knocking it. It's just not my thing. I'm just like, we have better games than this.
It's good though. It's good if it's not your thing. It's leave it for the younger people, and let's have our thing, and let's split up this age demographic so that I'm not hanging out with kids anymore in VR. Please and thank you.
I mean, there were a couple of there was one that's like a portal. I think it's called Tunneler, I believe is what the Roblox map is called. That one looked professional, but you can kind of tell the difference. Like you can kind of guess how old the person who made the map was. I was like, oh, this is too well done for a kid to have done it. And so I think there's some gems in there. You just have to be willing to kind of weed through or maybe tolerate a lot of them. Because there was like Nerf Championship that I played. There's a lot of like deathmatch style Roblox VR games, very simple. So if you like deathmatch, then you'll be happy because there's a lot of it.
It's definitely for the kids, and it's free, so it's good for them.
Yeah,
we just got some really interesting news from Brand VR in the chat. He said that the Quest Pro eye tracking got disabled forever from VR chat. Because apparently it caused significant performance issues.
I was wondering if it was like an easy anti-cheat thing, but that's unfortunate. So like,
crazy. Maybe
you use it in Horizon Meta.
that's
Or
it.
Horizon.
Yeah, maybe now it's starting to make more sense why, why maybe the Quest Pro may have been discontinued, because the feature that separates it from literally every other headset is not even allowed anymore in the one of the few apps that it's allowed to be used in.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, that's crazy. So I think now we can finally talk about this really the thing that we've been alluding to this whole time, Dance Dash.
Yes. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay.
Tell us about Dance Dash, because like literally we've been trying to talk about this for forever. Let's talk about it now.
Hell yeah. You can pull it up whenever, or I think if you can see it, I have like a video that I filmed in it on the side. Maybe if you don't see it, it's fine. But Dance Dash is basically like DDR for
Dance Revolution.
VR. Yes. And how it does that is through, well, depending on what you have. So like I've got the Vive trackers. So you can use the straps to put your trackers on the sides of your ankles, or you can use your Index or Quest 2 controllers as the trackers, and that's how it's able to determine where your feet are stomping. But I tried it like yesterday and today, and it is pretty dang fun.
I'm so jealous.
Hopefully this doesn't last super loud music, but the beta that it came in only has like 6 songs, and they're very meh, but they're working on a beat map, like a editor, so we're gonna see a lot of crazy mods. People doing the same stuff.
Freaking cool. I grew up playing Dance Revolution, so I like really want to play this. And for the past 2 nights, ever since I got the adapters in the mail, I have not been able to get Airlink to work. I'm about to go crazy. I am so upset. I think I'll just have to
for life.
I know. I think I'm just gonna have to connect the wire and just do like actual link cable to be able to use this. But this is really upsetting me. Like, this looks so cool. Did you have fun?
I did. Like I said, I like the maps it comes with. I don't know if they're gonna have more once they're out of beta. Are okay, but I can definitely see modders going, bat crap crazy, because you can do like shuffle moves, you can do stomping.
Oh my gosh, shuffle!
Yes,
I didn't even think of that.
If you use the Vive trackers, you also have the options of hands. So it'll have like besides stomping on left foot is red and then right foot blue, you also have right red hand. So that was cool too.
Really?
Because I use it with the trackers. Huh?
Wait, what?
Well, I don't know about hand tracking. It's if you're using the Vive trackers as trackers. So then you have your controllers free. Yeah. So then you have an additional dance move you can do. You can also have not blocks. They're circles that are just handprints. But you also have hand moves you can do.
I have to ask you, because you work at Live. Can you film this with Live? Will we
100%?
Yeah?
You know what? Yeah, avatars and mixed reality. I only did it.
The next Beat Saber, everyone did the mixed reality Beat Saber. It's now going to be Dance Dash.
Maybe. I've seen, if you look on Twitter, for the people who have posted, a lot of them are using Live for or probably all of them, because I don't know how else they'd be doing it to Steam their.
I haven't seen anyone posting anything.
There's this one guy who's really good. I forget his name, so I'm so sorry, but he does a lot of Feet Saber stuff. It sounds weird.
Oh, Kate.
Just Feet Saber stuff. Yeah. And so he got to try.
I think he's Filipino, by the way.
I think so too.
Yeah. I'm proud.
And so he used Live and mixed reality to film himself, trying out Dance Dash. And I'm like, but yeah, this game's going to be huge. Just wait till the modders get their hands on this thing.
I am going to get this working tonight. I don't care what I have to do, even if I have to dust off, I don't know, my Rift, if that even still works. Somehow get this to work.
Nothing like Airlink nor virtual desktop was working.
I think I have too many firewall VPN stuff on my computer. I don't know. Anyway, it'll happen tonight. Everybody, look out for my tweet when I say how cool it is.
I hope that more games or apps start using trackers or even controllers in this way. Yeah, because there's so many that are there's so many implications for fitness this way too, because so many of them are so upper body focused, and it's like there's only so much you can do. You're gonna be super ripped on the top, but what about the bottom? So
that was the joke back in the day with Beat Saber players. Like oh my gosh, it was so funny. So it would be, you do your upper body days with Beat Saber, and then you do your lower body days with Pistol Whip. Did you ever hear that?
Good. Yeah, that's good. I could definitely see that, because my back sometimes. I know you're not supposed to bend so far back and do matrix moves, but how can you not with Pistol Whip? But yeah, and also this game, it makes me feel like, hey, those $100 per trackers I spent, maybe I finally have another use for them. So yay. But I will say, using them with the index, like the wire's kind of annoying. I don't have one of the ceiling suspension setups because I've heard mixed things about like the pressure it might put on the wire. Although this makes me tempted to kind of maybe try it though, but we'll see. So the Quest would probably be pretty comfortable because you're not. Okay. You don't have to worry about.
You're wire. Definitely the type of person that would need a Nofio to make your index wireless.
Yeah, that's why when I saw the Bradley's GIF, I was like, oh, and with the trackers, I'm like, I bet he was playing this. Maybe it's hard to tell.
Yeah, maybe there was some shuffling. Do you think Brad would play a Dance Dash? I can't see it. I cannot see it. But maybe I don't know.
It's for technology reasons, right? Nofio and full body tracking, which both these things he likes. So combine it into something functional. And there you go.
All right. We have one more thing to talk about briefly before we get to this really fabulous, fantastic, amazing interview that you all literally need to listen to. It's so good. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Bluebell. I love the stream and both jazzes. Thank you so much for the $10 donation. That is so sweet of you. Thank you.
Appreciate it. So sweet.
The one last thing I wanted to mention, because there's so many things we've said about Meta discontinued this, Meta discontinued that. There's one thing that they have not discontinued and are actually very much so continuing. So I haven't had a chance to play this yet, but I guess they have this new map called Rumble in Horizon Worlds where the assets are custom. I don't know. They look nicer than usual Horizon Worlds. And a lot of people I've seen on social media, even I think Gamertag might have even posted a video about this.
Oh, the assets being the weapons or the
just
map
the way
itself,
that it looks.
Or...
it looks like they're improving. Apparently this game looks way better than anything in Horizon Worlds, and they did some custom something. And yeah, I've just heard really great things about it. I need to try it still, but there's one thing that they're not discontinuing is the metaverse.
Yeah, I don't have as much experience with Horizon Worlds, so maybe I can't compare, but I should probably. It's been a while since everyone's talked bad about it. Maybe I should try it again. Okay,
I'll take you.
Give me a good tour.
There's some really good communities there. When I went around, running around, I accidentally ran into different podcasts that were happening live, and they were podcasts with people going on stage talking about their experiences, and there was comedy shows. There was a whole community out there. But yeah, I'll take you.
Yeah, it sounds like the versus VR chat, which can be all over the place. Rec Room, mostly kids. It sounds like this is kind of a more sane place for adults, more predictable,
for normies.
Not that anything's wrong with VR chat, but sometimes it's a mixed bag. You never know what you're gonna get.
The way I say it is VR chat's very alternative. It's very edgy. And if you don't want anything edgy or alternative, and you just want the basic, very vanilla, that's what I think Horizon Worlds is. And some people want that, and it can be appreciated.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, we really I've been itching to show you all this interview. So unfortunately, Maureen had she's not able to be with us live for this interview, but you are so in for a treat. Literally, me and Adam were flabbergasted during this interview that we had with her. So without further ado, is there anything you want to say before I show this interview?
Get your pens and papers, because
yeah, take notes. This is how you do it if you're trying to get into whatever you want to accomplish in life.
I can't wait. Go. Yes, do it. Let's go. I can't wait. Hurry. Right,
here it is.
Amount of experience. So I'll actually let you sort of tell us a little about your history. So we are thrilled and super, super excited to have Maureen Fan join us today for the show. God, Maureen's done it all from VP to CEO to co-founder. You've got such an interesting amount of experience. So I'll actually let you sort of tell us a little about your history and the parts of your work that you're most proud of.
I've loved animation my entire life. And the reason I love it is because it brings us back to that 5-year-old sense of self where we think anything is possible. And when we were young, we thought we could be astronauts, we could be singer-songwriters, athletes. And something happens as we get older where society pressures us to conform to values of fame, money, fortune, beauty. And we forget that we still have that dreamer and we can do anything we want. But when I'm watching animation or playing animated games, I feel that 5-year-old sense of wonder come back out and I feel invincible, like I can do anything. And I truly believe if humans just watched more animation or played more games, that they would have that bravery to actually go after what they truly love. So that's why I love animation. So I designed my major at Stanford, computer science, art, and psychology because I want to do animation. But my parents told me, their immigrant parents told me I'd be poor and destitute if I followed my dreams. And so instead of going to Lucasfilm, where I was supposed to go, I went to eBay as a UI designer. But I learned a lot there. So I was a UI designer, then culture anthropologist, and then product manager. But nights and weekends, I still took animation classes and figure drawing classes at the local community college, just hoping that one day I could save enough money from my stock options that I could not be poor and destitute and could pursue my real dreams and go get an MFA. The deadlines had passed for the MFA 5 years in. So my mom forced me to apply to business school. I got in. I was going to say no because I hate business. But my boss said, don't be an idiot. Don't say no to Harvard without trying out Hollywood first. So I quit my job at eBay, went to Hollywood, emailed everyone in the Stanford alumni database for any jobs that were available, was assistant to Zach Braff, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's talent manager, drove film packages around Los Angeles, learned that everything is a business at the end of the day. And so ended up going to Harvard Business School and realized that my mother is always right, which is just very annoying. But anyway, so in between my 2 business school years, I went to Pixar, interned on Toy Story 3. When I left, I realized I want to be part of creating something new rather than joining an industry that's super already established. I like solving new problems. So joined Zynga right when they started and was there, started off as a senior PM on virtual worlds like Yeovil, Petville, and then ultimately was promoted to, lead PM, director PM, whatever, EP, GM, and then vice president of games, looking over the entire Farmville franchise. So that's all the different Farmville games and new Farmville games coming out, and then was put in charge of new IP as well. And was super proud and loved learning about both the metrics side of things, because Zynga was very much metrics based, and my traditional background, which is more artistic. So, but then when VR came about, I was like, yes, this is my chance, because I wasn't going to go up against Disney, Pixar, DreamWorks without either unfair distribution advantage or a lot of money. But when there's technological disruption like VR, it's an opportunity because nobody, despite all their money, knows what they're doing in VR, which means there's a chance to get in, make a name for ourselves, make a brand, be known for creating great IP, and then take that IP and expand from there for world domination. And so that is what we're trying to do. But ultimately, the mission of the company is to inspire the world to dream, bring out your sense of wonder, and make you matter. And that whole dream wonder is based off of what I just said is my mission in life and why I love animation. And the last part, make you matter, is what I feel differentiates us, because it's about making sure that you're not just a passive audience member, that you actually matter to those characters in the story. You form relationships with them and therefore actually impact the story. So you feel like you're truly a part of it and want to play the game forever and hang out with those people forever and watch every single version of it, play the game, buy the merchandise, like all of that.
Yeah, this is why we're so excited to have you today. I mean, first, you really paid your dues. I mean, delivering packages in Hollywood, like you really were in the ground, doing what needed to be done in order to make your dreams come true. Like that part is really amazing. And also, I think you touched on something so relatable for a lot of people, like with immigrant parents, including myself, where you're told, do this, do that. I did engineering and now I work in games and VR marketing. So if that tells you anything. Yeah, so that's all super relatable.
My God, so you've worked across so many different types of mediums, like comes to video games, VR, film, etc. What, in your opinion, kind of excites you the most about potential technologies like VR, and how do you see it, maybe VR entertainment evolving in the next coming years?
I'm super excited about the announcements of additional headsets into the market because I would like more eyeballs as much as possible. But the thing that I've always been frustrated about, because I love both traditional animation, feature film, which is passive, and television, and I play games. My mom was a computer scientist, so I was the one who like the girls didn't want to play with, and their like younger brothers wanted to play with me because I would want to play the games, and none of my friends.
Very relatable.
Yeah, but it's different now. I think now it's cool.
Mhm.
But anyways, back then it wasn't. But I feel like if you can have awesome gameplay, which games have, but also the richness of the world, the characters, the story arcs of the world building of a lot of films and TV, and you have them together, that to me is the ideal medium. Games work very well in VR. This is why we did Galactic Catch. We're really excited about our new invasion fishing game. But in VR, you have the potential to have both in a way that you couldn't have in a traditional medium. But in VR, because I would say the environment matters even more in VR because you're super transported there, you have to think even more deeply about the world around you, building that out. Because you're thinking more carefully about it, you can actually invest more in that and build out that lush world and have the interactivity and the suspension of disbelief, as we all know from VR, is greater than say with a TV screen or even with controllers playing. So it's the perfect medium for what I think is the perfect entertainment. So I'm excited about creating experiences that merge the narrative characters of film TV with the interactivity and core game loops and mechanics of games.
This makes so much sense talking to you now, like the whole like the trajectory of Baobab Studios. The first time I heard about Baobab was actually through Galactic Catch, because I don't think that animated films in VR is as popular as they should be. They're so good, but that's how I first heard about it, was through Galactic Catch, your newest game. When I finally decided to like check out all the different VR like animated films y'all have created, like I get that. I get the sense of wonder, being able to like matter to the characters, because how you interact with them, like like you can interact with them. I thought like Paper Words was beautiful. A Bonfire was so heartwarming. And then when I looked into this more, into what y'all have been doing, like having these Hollywood people part of your animation, like you guys are doing some really incredible things I don't think people know enough about. And I'm really thankful that you did create Galactic Catch, because I do think a lot of people in the VR space are more in the gaming space, and and I'm hoping that other people like me have now been introduced to your VR films that you've been creating.
So we hope to have more people on like this too, to help, promote like, hey, I mean, yes, you did make an amazing game, but there's
Galactic Catch is amazing. Should we just take a moment to say how great it is? Because Adam's obsessed.
Now it makes sense because like there's other fishing games that I won't mention, but they're just fishing games. There's not really like there's no story behind it. It's just, and I guess in some cases that can be fine, but with Galactic Catch, it's more fantasy and there's a story behind it, which is why I really liked it. Because I mean, I'm not a fishing person personally, but when the fish are really unique, because these are alien fish and the environments are different, something that you're never gonna see in real life. It just drew me, and it's just so it's just nice and relaxing. I don't necessarily have to be doing pew pew all the time. Like sometimes I just want to sit on my couch and relax. So it was great. I really loved it. It was fantastic.
So for those that don't know what Galactic Catch is, it is a fishing game in VR, but it's set in, well, maybe you could talk about it, Maureen.
It's a VR fishing game set in the world of Invasion. So Invasion was the first project we ever created. It was number one. It beat everything across all headsets. And in it, you are a little cute, sweet little bunny, and you go out on the icy lake. And alien spaceship, basically. Well, first a little cute bunny comes and sniffs you and plays with you. But then these menacing aliens come in from outer space, and they want to conquer Earth. And they get thwarted by you and your cute little bunny friend. So the idea was these like Laurel and Hardy, these adorable alien creatures are sent out to conquer the universe, but they're just really bad at it. And so when they come to the universe, they're thwarted by the sweetest, cutest, cuddliest little creatures. And in this case, it's
So
funny. So, and so we just continuing on with this IP. And so Galactic Catch is this version where Mac and Cheese, who are the two bumbling idiot aliens, they have been swallowed by an evil Leviathan on an alien planet, which is a huge monstrous fish. And so you, the menial task robot, need to save them. And the only way you could do this is by fishing through the galaxy and become a better fisher robot so that you can ultimately hook this Leviathan and be able to save your friends. And so you're going through fantastical, amazing intergalactic worlds. We didn't get to do this one, but maybe in a future day, like think about if you could fish off the rings of Jupiter, right? So you're fishing for very different alien fish and different surroundings and settings and leveling up and becoming stronger as you go. And throughout this thing, you fish more to unlock more gameplay, unlock more locations. And then it's a casual thing, right? So it's meant to be super easy for you to go in, but it's super deep because we added crafting. So you could craft different lures, rods. There's an aquarium. After you catch there's like a bajillion fish of all different levels. Different ones are difficult to catch. Some need different types of lures. It's very complicated, but for those more hardcore players. And then you get to collect your fish and put them in an aquarium. My favorite thing to do is just decorating in the aquarium. I spend hours.
But yeah, like some of the exciting things is, yeah, if you catch a fish, you never know what it's going to look like. And I think that in the beginning, that game loop of, oh, what am I going to catch next? What like location will I unlock next is like really exciting for the beginners. And then as you progress through, you're like, oh, wait, there's actually a lot of strategy. I actually need to craft the proper lure. I actually need to like think about things. And then once you get past that, you're like, oh, but I also have this aquarium in the middle of trying to become this master fisher so I can save my friends. Let me just take some time for myself, some Zen time, and craft this or like make my aquarium look cute. There's so much in that game. It's so good.
Thank you.
It really is. You touched on it a little bit, but what would you think then are some of the biggest challenges when it comes to creating compelling VR experiences, and how have you sort of aimed to overcome these challenges? Like I know you mentioned because you're in VR, you have heavy focus on environment is really key, but is there anything else around there that you've, in your experience, dealt with as well?
I think the challenge is more market, honestly, is having more people being introduced to VR, but it's past introduction. So even whenever I'm play testing things, it's thinking about, oh my gosh, is my headset charged enough? Or is my interconnection good? And then I keep on needing to download the update, and then it takes so long to do the update. And then I'm always afraid if I take it off that it will somehow pause and not continue downloading. And then are my hand controllers, are the batteries? So it's that part that is just like a hurdle to even think about doing that. And while it's okay for me because I believe in VR and I'm doing developing, I just think about people out there, like the barrier needs to be so low for them to do it repeatedly. So it's really more about how do we get this out to even more people and more people becoming believers in VR and onboarding. So, and of course, that's what I think about most because I'm the business person of Baobab. So that's what I'm focused on. I'm sure my CTO, Larry, focuses more on, hey, how do we get more out of the engine so we make the graphics even better because they're used to, feature film. So like wrestling the game engine to do what it is that we want it to do.
You've done so much in your career. Like, what are some of the biggest challenges in scaling up a startup? How did you tackle those challenges?
I think the hardest thing is just psychology. I don't know any founder entrepreneur that does not struggle with self-doubt, crippling self-doubt. The world is falling. And it was the advice I received was definitely have co-founders and have other entrepreneur friends, because it's other people to share the burden with you for co-founders when you're hiding underneath your desk crying. There's somebody else you can pass the baton to, like, hey, you go lead the company right now while I take a quick break. Because I do believe as CEO, you are the light or the energy source from which the company draws. So if you are not energized you can't lead, like people will sense that and they will feel sad or
Down.
depressed, or if you are that way. Someone that you could, because as an entrepreneur, you need to pretend like everything's okay all the time. You always have to project confidence, especially when you're making business deals. You need to seem like you're even bigger, more badass than you actually feel you are. And so it's hard to show your authentic self and all the things that you're actually struggling with. So when you're talking to these other entrepreneurs, usually funny thing is when I ask entrepreneurs, how are you? Like, great, everything's great. I'm like, really? And then I tell them all my problems. So they then feel like they can also let down their guard and be vulnerable. And then we could talk to each other about the crappiness. And then that forms a bond and an outlet. So it's more of the psychological management that I find hardest, and the most important thing to care about and to plan for ahead of time. And also my friend Andy Tien, who he actually passed away, but he gave me great advice when I was fundraising the second time. He was saying it's a marathon, not a sprint. And I didn't believe it at the time, but now after 8 years, I understand now that it is. But in the beginning, you need that ridiculous naivete, idealism, burst of energy, and able to birth a new company. So it's okay. I sprinted. I was like, I can sprint to the whole marathon. But realizing after
if only.
like, okay, that's unthinkable.
What I know you've said a lot of great informative stuff that will help a lot of
Very
people.
relatable too.
Yeah. But what advice would you give, especially young women that are interested in pursuing leadership roles in tech and entertainment? Yeah, what advice would you give? Because you've been through a lot, so it'd be much appreciated.
It depends on the generation, to be honest, because different generations act differently. Like millennials, totally different. Sometimes too entitled. In general, the research shows that women tend to come across as less confident than men, and leadership perception of you being a leader is correlated with perception that you're confident. Therefore, if you don't come across as confident, people are less likely to think you're a leader like. So either fake it, fake your confidence, or just be confident. A lot of the things that they teach you in these women classes is like tips of how to act a certain way. And you wouldn't have to do those things if you just were confident. It's all how to make you appear confident. But if you just had that would be great. But it's hard because society, what is considered feminine and attractive as a woman is not to beat your chest and say, look at me, and to throw hierarchy to the wind, to ignore hierarchy, all the things I was taught to be feminine. And also as an Asian American female, even more so, of, respect the hierarchy, respect your elders, don't be humble, never call attention to yourself. All these things are the opposite of what you need, at least in the West, to succeed. And it makes me a little sad to say this, because I also feel like you shouldn't have to be someone you're not in order to succeed. It's maybe at the point at which you are so comfortable with being yourself that you say, screw it, I'm not going to do those things. And then people can sense your power. So there is authenticity, but you have to get to the point where you're confident enough. Like the one story I like to give is a lot of the messages are for women. And I don't actually think that helps as much, to be totally honest, because it's the men who need to hear, because those are the ones in power. And at Zynga, I wasn't getting promoted to general manager, and I saw all my peers who I knew I was better than getting promoted. And the nice thing at Zynga is you would get promoted based off of your moving the business metrics. So I'm like, I moved these business metrics, I should be promoted. Why am I not getting promoted? I emailed my business school professor, told him to email me all the articles on women in leadership. I printed them out and I started highlighting parts, and I handed it to my boss, Tim Letourneau. He's the chief creative officer at Zynga. And I said, read this. I think you're doing these things to me. Well, that first shows you how comfortable I was with Tim, because that would be a scary HR thing for me to do if I didn't trust him that much. So he was a great manager that he made me feel safe. I handed to him. And then after a few days, he came back to me and he said, you know what? I realized that the reason why I didn't promote you is partly because you're a woman, because it was Farmville 2 at the time. I was launching a new game. I was heading up the game. He said, it's because Farmville is the crown jewel of the company. And I know people will attack you because it's the crown jewel. It's the most important thing. So I wanted to wait until you're 2 levels above where you need to be to promote you, rather than just 1 level above like everybody else, because I feel protective of you as a man. And he's like, but I realized that's wrong, because if you were a guy, I would have just let you swim with the sharks. And then he corrected it. But what that said to me is he corrected it. It needed to be put in his face for him to see, but he was willing to change. And it wasn't like he knew that, oh, I just naturally as a man want to protect women, right? And you could see that as like a nice thing. So it's not malicious. It's just what society has taught us is how we're supposed to be. And so that taught me that I care a lot more about educating men, to hope that they will hear. And after that, with the game, we launched it. It was a huge success. It was sustaining the company. And Tim came to me and said, I want you to write an email to Mark Pincus, the CEO, about asking for even more resources, to do even more. And I was like, no, I don't want to. I was so thankful that he already gave me all this. He said, just do it. So I wrote Mark an email saying, hey, I want even more. And if you give me this more, I could do this even more. He loved it, right? The CEO loved it. He's like, oh my gosh, this girl isn't just happy with blowing it out of the park with this game. She wants to do even better. I love that ambition. Oh my gosh. And then so I learned to always ask for what I wanted. And I became insolent and very obnoxious, asking for whatever I want and talking to people as though I didn't need to be deferential. There was no hierarchy. And I was constantly positively reinforced for that. And that's when I realized I'm awesome. I can just be like this all the time. I don't need to be deferential. But that was a huge shift, and Tim helped me through that. So I'm hoping that would help women out there.
Like you said, like fake it till you make it. It took you a lot of practice to start standing up for yourself, to start asking questions until you got to a point where you're like, yeah, I'm just going to ask all the questions I want because why not? I'm just the same as anybody else. Man, woman, whatever. We're if you want to be a leader, you just act like a leader. There's no man leader, woman leader. It's just an attitude.
I think too, it took me a while to get like confident, and it wasn't necessarily like, how you said it's either you have to fake it till you are confident or you have it. I think it takes experience and like succeeding at different things over and over and over again for you to finally build that confidence. And yeah, I think that's exactly what you did. And kudos to you. Very brave to like go up to your manager. Like, I couldn't imagine. That sounds really scary to do.
But cool. Maureen, thank you so much for being on the show today and for sharing your absolutely remarkable experiences as an entrepreneur and innovator. It was so interesting to hear about all of the projects you've been involved on. And like I said, I'm going to put print out the script, put it on a visual poster next to my desk.
Maybe we'll make like a PDF that you just have to put your email address and you'll get the PDF of that you can put on your wall for Maureen Fan.
But before we wrap this up, can you let our listeners know if there's any particular places that they can follow your work online or check up with you, whether that's social media or various projects, anything you want to plug, just go for it.
Well, first for Galactic Catch, look out for the achievements update this week. So we're really excited about that. But we also have a Galactic Catch Discord. So you can go there, or you can follow us on any of the like TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of those at Baobab Studios. And also baobabstudios.com. Course, is a place that you can always go to see all of our projects. I'm really excited about 2 Disney Plus TV shows that are coming out, which started from VR. So this is part of you can start things from VR and then get a name for it. So Baba Yaga, which was our VR witch experience, which is based off the Eastern European witch tale of a witch that eats little children oftentimes and lives in a hut that walks on chicken legs. So we created a VR experience around that, and it was picked up. So that was starring Glenn Close, Daisy Ridley, Kate Winslet, and Jennifer Hudson. So all female cast.
Cast.
They won a bunch of Emmys, but it's being turned into a Disney Plus anthology, like a witch anthology series. So we're really excited about that. And
That is so
if we
cool.
can connect it to the VR, and
Yes.
more to come for VR. So
Oh,
especially
VR
on
is
the gaming
so
side
good.
for us.
So anyone that's listening to this, watching this, make sure to follow Maureen Fan and Baobab Studios, because obviously they're doing really great things. And you heard it here first, or maybe not, but we were one of the first.
More exciting things to come. But
Yeah.
yeah, thank you so much again. And congratulations on all your success. And we can't wait to see what other worlds and stories that you end up creating next.
Thank you.
What an incredible interview.
Her story on standing up for her boss, and then him understanding that, like, I don't know, her whole story with her former boss was like, that was one of my favorite parts. I was like, I can't wait till we get to that part. I'm so excited. It's, I don't know. But there was mention earlier, I think, on us eating candy, right? I think someone mentioned that. But we also want to make sure we show the trailer and do good justice for Galactic Catch.
We didn't show you the trailer for Galactic Catch. It's so freaking good. So here's the trailer. I think there was a section too that was a little bit cut off from the interview. Galactic Catch is actually connected to the worlds in a couple of their other titles.
That's what I love about the game is, like, you're not gonna, it's not like, oh, you're gonna catch, here's a halibut or a trout. It's like, I don't know what this is, and because I don't know what it is, I love it.
It's always like it's like a slot machine. You never know what kind of fish you're gonna get. It's so random.
That's the addicting part. It's all this. I was gonna say stupid aquarium stuff, but I say stupid affectionately because I spend a ridiculous amount of time customizing my aquarium. But yeah,
right. That was the other thing we were talking about. Like, you can customize your aquarium, and there's so many things you could do, and it looks so good. Anyway, this game is super fun, and again, it's connected to a bunch of their other titles in Baobab's like VR. They're doing Marvel, basically. Like, Marvel has all those movies connected to each other. That's what they're doing, but with VR games and VR films. It's crazy.
Yeah, Invasion was sort of not exactly sort of like a spiritual successor. Like, they had Mac and Cheese, the two characters that were in that one. They're in this one. They're the ones that get swallowed by the Leviathan that you have to, work up towards catching eventually. So that's cool that they're kind of keeping it in the same not environment. You know what I mean?
Like, we've seen games have sequels of each other in the VR space, but we haven't seen like the same universe throughout different games yet. So I thought that was really cool. But all right, so earlier someone asked us if we're still doing the candy eating thing. So we will do it as the last thing of this episode, which is a really great episode, by the way. I don't know what this one is. I picked this one. What'd you get?
Hold on, let me pick. The only reason we haven't done it with a guest is because we feel like it's weird to eat it while the guest is just sitting there watching us eat candy.
Yeah. It's so rude. You don't eat in front of people if they don't have food.
Chewing, and they're just like, I guess I'll just sit here. And I got what did you get? I got like a pink one.
Mine's like green, brown.
Sorry, I can't really.
Something. All right, let's do this. Oh, yours looks cute.
It does. It smells good from the outside.
Oh, wow. It smells delicious. Mine smells like a boba kind of thing.
Oh, my hands are really sweaty. Oh, I'm going to have to do the lame thing and use scissors.
Lame
person. Oops.
Wait, this is really, really good. I can't even tell people what to get because I don't know what it's called. It's literally in a language I don't understand. Maybe I need to do more Immersed in Downtown. But it's like a milk tea boba candy. It's so good. It's like a boba in a candy.
Mine is more like a sucker, so I'm probably not going to finish it before the end of the show because I didn't realize that before I ate it.
You picked the wrong one.
I didn't know. I don't know. Mine is like a peach cream. It actually says it in the back, but it's actually really good. This was, I don't know if it helps at all. Mine, Well, if you're really interested, I could post it somewhere, but I like it. You never know what you get in a random candy bag. But her, yeah, I mean, we love all of our guests, but man,
a powerhouse. She said that she contacted every single person. I can't remember where, but she like messaged a bunch of people until she got a job somewhere. And that she at first was delivering packages in Hollywood, like literally whatever she could do, even though she had like a Stanford degree, a Harvard degree, like whatever she could do in order to make it in the industry. Like the pure perseverance, I think, is so relatable to a lot of people in the VR industry, because all of us, we're like, we never know when VR is really going to take off. It's been years of it going to take off, and we all have been persevering to like make this industry happen. It's just, I think she was very relatable.
Mm-hmm. We had another side segment. We had to cut off some parts because it was like 40 minutes long. So there were maybe eventually we do like a behind the scenes thing or something where we put like the full interview up somewhere on a separate file. We'll think about it. But she also mentioned, the difficulties of being Asian American specifically, in that, on the Asian side she was too American, and on the American side she was too Asian. And as someone who's like white Asian, like my mom's side's Filipino, Japanese, dad's side's, your Euro blend, I felt exactly the same way, kind of like a weird black sheep that wasn't quite Asian enough or not quite white enough for each side. So I love her so much. That she was so great. We never met her before, at least I hadn't. And so sometimes you never know what to expect. And it was just
so relatable on so many levels. Yeah. Anyway, so we will link a bunch of we'll link Baobab Studios in the description for this. And we'll also link a bunch of the titles that you should try out from them in the description. And yeah, do you have anything else you want to add, Adam, before we end the show today?
I don't think so. Looking forward to next month's show, which we will definitely plan. 2 days before the show.
It's going to be around the Meta Connect, isn't it?
We will think about that. We'll get back to you on it.
We'll get back to you, and hopefully we'll see you. And and don't forget, if you aren't following us on Spotify, there's not really that many people doing that, but follow us on there so that we look like we have people listening to us.
Great.
Yeah.
Fake it till you make it.
Goodbye, everybody. See you all next month.